years as I have been able to financially collect some older pieces have I ever thought really about the value.
Stein says the best memorabilia is creative in design and makes a broader political point. They often use one simple word or basic image to help politicians connect with voters.
All of it is, in some form or fashion, an attempt for both the campaign to reach out to people, but also for people to have part of the campaign.
And maybe a lasting piece of history. Michelle Miller, CBS News, Nashville.
Thanks for joining us this half hour. This is CBS News Up to the Minute.
CBS News. Experience you.
Ice storm, a deadly mix of ice and freezing rain knocks out power to hundreds of thousands. Stimulus showdown. President Obama hears the concerns of Republican lawmakers. And view with a room, a storefront hotel room in New York City. Not for the modest.
It'll be embarrassing because I sleep in the nude most of the time, so it could be a problem for me. But other than that, but if New York wants to see me, I'm up to it.
This is the CBS Morning News for Wednesday, January 28, 2009.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle Gielan. This morning, hundreds of thousands of Americans from the southern plains to the East Coast are struggling to make do without power. They're victims of a deadly winter ice storm, and it could be days before their electricity is back on. At least 19 deaths are being blamed on the storm. Meg Oliver has the latest.
The damaging glaze of thick ice that emergency crews haven't been able to keep up with. The massive storm pounded an area from the plains east. Nearly 350,000 customers are in the dark, 165,000 in Arkansas, 104,000 in Kentucky, 45,000 in Missouri, and another 28,000 in Oklahoma. Customers are in the dark.
All right, well, it appears we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but let's turn now to the economy. President Obama is meeting this morning with a group of business leaders to discuss his $825 billion economic recovery plan. The House is due to vote on the measure today, and Mr. Obama is urging lawmakers to put politics aside to meet the crisis. Joel Brown joins us now from Washington with more. Joel, good morning.
Michelle, good morning to you. As the House gets set to vote on this massive stimulus package, President Obama knows he'll likely win this first round. He just won't win the way he wanted to.
Republicans are ready to stand their ground when the House votes today on President Obama's $825 billion stimulus plan.
Where does it end? We're printing so much money. We're going to spend so much money. We're going to put this whole country and our future generations into a deep hole.
Even after a late night of intense debate, lawmakers remain sharply divided on taxes versus spending. One major issue, giving relief to wage workers who pay Social Security taxes but don't earn enough to owe income taxes.
You can't cut taxes for someone who doesn't pay taxes.
Yes, we're changing policy, and we're doing it at the direction of the American people, because the policy you gave them for 8 years was a disaster.
If the vote goes along party lines, it should pass. But President Obama wants bipartisan support, and he's urging Republicans to put politics aside and get it done. The president will step up his sales campaign today when he meets with a group of CEOs. These are head honchos that'll likely voice their concerns about hard times and the unfortunate consequence: massive layoffs.
The American people expect action.
On the eve of the key vote, the president shuttled between closed-door meetings on Capitol Hill in hopes of swaying Republicans. It's not clear just how successful the president was at personal persuasion, but everyone's sure to find out when the House showdown takes place later today.
So the stimulus package expected to pass the House later today with just a handful of GOP votes. The Senate ready to go to work on it next week, Michelle.
Well, let's talk about the Senate, Joel. Is the president expecting more support from them?
Well, by the numbers, he only needs 2 Republican senators to sign on to achieve that 60-vote filibuster-proof majority, but he's hoping he can get a few more Republicans than that for the sake of bipartisanship, and he just may do it. Democrats in the Senate have seemed more open, at least right now, to Republican tax-cutting proposals.
Okay, Joe Brown in Washington. Joel, thanks. On the CBS News Money Watch, Asian stocks rally and Citigroup changes its flight plan. Claire Lake is here in New York with the details. Claire, good morning.
Good morning to you, Michelle. It was a split decision in Asia overnight, but many markets were still closed for the Chinese Lunar New Year. Japan's benchmark Nikkei rose 45 points, and after being closed for 2 days, South Korea's Kospi surged nearly 5%. Now on Wall Street, earnings from AT&T and Boeing take center stage today. The Dow begins the day up 58 points, the Nasdaq with a gain of 15 points. The Federal Reserve wraps up a 2-day meeting on interest rates. They are certain to leave rates at a record low of near zero, but the Fed could unveil new tools to deal with the recession in its closely watched statement. Citigroup, which got $45 billion in bailout money, outraged President Obama by going ahead with plans to buy a new corporate jet like this one. Yesterday, under White House pressure, the company reversed course and said it's canceling the purchase, even though it could lead to multi-million-dollar penalties. Starbucks is cutting back on decaf coffee. The struggling coffee giant will stop continuously brewing decaffeinated coffee after 12 p.m. as part of a drive to waste less and save $400 million by September. Starbucks says that fewer customers want decaf in the afternoon, and a lot of it is wasted. A London couple visiting the Big Apple aren't just seeing the sights, they're one of the sights. Duncan Malcolm and Catherine Lewis are getting a free 5-day stay at Manhattan's Roger Smith Hotel, but there's a big catch. Everyone can watch. Their ground floor room has a big glass window. They've agreed to keep the curtains open from 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 every evening.
It's amazing how quickly you kind of forget and you just accept that this is your room and and your space, and you just forget about the people around you.
Yeah, that's so true. All this sort of stuff, you just completely, after about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you completely forget about it.
Yeah.
It's quite bizarre, until you get a few people just looking in and waving back.
The promotion is being done with Real Live Billboards, a company which stages live publicity events. Michelle?
Claire, I wonder, I hope they have privacy at least in the bathroom.
Yes, they do.
Let's go back to the Fed for a second that you mentioned earlier. There's another meeting today. What's happening with that?
Right. The Federal Reserve does wrap up that 2-day meeting on interest rates. Of course, it's widely expected that they're going to keep short-term interest rates at that record low of near zero. However, Wall Street will be closely watching what the Fed says in its statement today. The Fed could unveil new tools to combat the recession. Michelle?
All right, Claire Lake here in New York. Claire, thanks. Just ahead on the morning news, 8 definitely enough. The latest on the California octuplets. Plus, Cleveland's Mo Williams puts on a show for the home crowd. First, though, Katie Kirk has a preview of tonight's CBS Evening News.
Soldiers returning from war and taking out their rage on their families. It's a growing crisis, and all too often, the warning signs are ignored. You'll hear one woman's horrifying story and the military's reaction tonight on a special primetime edition of the CBS Evening News.
So guess what? Again, when I least expected it, my asthma symptoms came back. So this time, my doctor gave me Symbicort to help control my asthma. It combines 2 medicines that help control inflammation and constriction. So I'm breathing more freely day and night, and that feels good to me. And Symbicort is an asthma controller that starts to open my airways within 15 minutes. Very unexpected. Symbicort will not replace a rescue inhaler for sudden symptoms and should not be taken more than twice a day. Symbicort contains formoterol. Medicines like formoterol may increase the chance of asthma-related death. So, it is not for people whose asthma is well controlled on other asthma medicines. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse. I know Symbicort won't replace a rescue inhaler. It helps control my asthma and starts to open my airways within 15 minutes. Ask your doctor if Symbicort is right for you.
If you cannot afford your prescription, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
For a pure clean, there's one clear choice. All Free Clear 2 times concentrated detergent. Free Clear's powerful stain lifters give you just what you need and nothing more. Unlike most detergents, All Free Clear eliminates these ingredients that may lead to irritation, perfumes, dyes, preservatives, enzymes. All Free Clear leaves a pure clean. It's the #1 detergent recommended by dermatologists for sensitive skin. All Free Clear, the pure clean.
I run daycare out of my home. It's very exhausting, and all that stress can make me run down and weaken my body's defenses. I drink Dan Active every morning, and I love it. Dan Active makes me feel like I'm doing something for me and them.
Help strengthen your body's defenses.
I think most people here suffer from dry skin. Hands, arms, feet. For me, I feel like Vaseline's giving me a lot more moisture and my skin's in a lot better condition than it normally has been. I think that kind of speaks for itself.
Prescription strength without the prescription. New Vaseline Clinical Therapy.
A lost job may have triggered a family tragedy in Southern California where a man shot and killed his wife, their 5 young children, and then himself. Mary Beth McDade of our Los Angeles station KCBS reports.
I was in shock and I couldn't believe it. It's really sad that it happened this way. I'm really sad about the children. They're innocent little children.
As Myrna Navarro prays with other neighbors for the Lupo children who used to play with her son, she still can't believe Erwin Lupo was capable of killing his family and then himself. These are pictures from Erwin's Facebook page. Police found the family dead inside their Wilmington home after Erwin called 911.
We believe the 5 children and possibly the wife were killed sometime during the night, that the male died sometime after the phone call.
The coroner's office says all were found in bedrooms Tuesday morning with gunshot wounds. Erwin had a gun next to him. Authorities believe Erwin set out on this murder-suicide mission after he and his wife Anna were fired from their jobs at West LA's Kaiser Permanente because of a work dispute.
According to many reports, the man who committed this crime recently lost his job and allowed the desperation to put him over the edge.
He faxed a letter to a local TV station spelling out the frustration that apparently escalated into this tragic act. In it, he stated, "We have no job and 5 children under 8 years old with no place to go, so here we are." He also expressed that he and his wife didn't want to leave their 8-year-old daughter, 5-year-old twins, or 2-year-old twins to a stranger.
At this point in time, it looks like there may have been grounds for his termination from Kaiser Permanente, and that it wasn't just a layoff as a result of the economic times.
School officials revealed the parents took their 3 older children, Brittany, Jasmine, and Jasley, out of school about a week and a half ago, claiming they were moving to Kansas. For now, in Wilmington, Mary Beth McDade for CBS News.
Funeral plans are pending for author John Updike, who died yesterday of lung cancer. The Pulitzer Prize-winning novelist chronicled American life in unique fashion for more than 50 years. Katie Kirk reports.
These are old books now.
John Updike had a knack for raising some profound issues in some pretty unusual settings.
Of course, when we make mistakes, they call it evil. When God makes mistakes, they call it nature.
Most people will remember The Witches of Eastwick. In that famous novel turned hit movie, the devil himself wakes up a sleepy New England town.
He took inward notes on the bright, quick impressions.
But in his prolific career, Updike was generally more inclined to tackle lesser evils. Sex, divorce, and adultery, the issues lying just below the surface in every suburb in America, including his hometown of Shillington, a suburb of Reading, Pennsylvania.
Beyond making a record of contemporary life, which is what you inevitably do, he was trying to make beautiful books.
You're happy with these colors?
John Updike once said his goal was to write a book a year.
I thought I signed all these already.
Since the 1950s, more than 50 novels and several volumes of poetry and essays have been published. His acclaimed second novel, Rabbit Run, has been published in 29 countries and sold millions of copies worldwide. The book's sequels, Rabbit is Rich and Rabbit at Rest, won him 2 Pulitzer Prizes in the fiction category.
Cousin Lee!
Yeah.
One of America's most accomplished authors, inspiration came frequently to Updike, but he said writing daily wasn't easy. As he told Time magazine in 1982, you'd rather do almost anything than tackle that empty page, because what you do on the page is you. John Updike was 76.
Attention diabetics with Medicare.
If you're a diabetic, I have news that could change your life. USA Medical has a new and nearly pain-free way to test your blood glucose. No more painful finger pricks. This new meter allows you to test on your arm or your palm, and it's virtually pain-free. But that's not all. It talks.
Your blood glucose reading is 97.
Seeing and hearing your reading helps confirm accuracy. Best of all, USA Medical will send you one.
I made the call. USA Medical handled everything. The meter and my testing supplies showed up at the front door. Couldn't be easier.
With USA Medical, you can get all your diabetic supplies delivered to your door. Change the way you test. Call USA Medical.
Naturals from Purina Cat Chow with whole grains, real chicken and salmon, and the goodness of leafy greens. You live well, you eat right. Help your cat do the same. Naturals from Purina Cat Chow.
Slim Fast with HC4 controls hunger up to 4 hours, so you can kick some cravings and your first 10 pounds. Get started at slimfast.com.
Here's a look at the weather in some cities around the country. New York, snow changing to rain 37, Miami 82, Chicago 18, Denver sunny 34, LA sunny and windy at 73. And time now for a check on the national forecast. The latest satellite picture shows that there are gray skies from this nasty winter storm that extend all the way from southern Texas to the Great Lakes and New England. It's a clear morning across the Rockies and Southwest. Later today, heavy snow will fall over much of the Northeast, but the coastal sections will see a changeover to rain before noon. The freezing rain across the Ohio Valley will be ending with some snow, while the skies over the ice-coated southern plains should begin to brighten. Gusty winds will develop across the sunny Southwest. In sports, the NBA's Cleveland Cavaliers, they're still perfect at home. Mo Williams scored a career-high 43 points, including 7 three-pointers. And LeBron James recorded his 20th career triple-double. The Cavs beat Sacramento 117-110. That's their 21st straight win at home. The Charlotte Bobcats beat the LA Lakers by that same 117-110 score in double overtime. The sub-500 Bobcats have beaten the best of the West Lakers 5 out of 6 times this season. In college basketball, Kentucky may not last long in the top 25. The Wildcats entered the list at number 24 just this week, but last night they were upset by Mississippi 85-80. And in Tampa, before the Super Bowl, comes the Silly Bowl, also known as Media Day. It's a chance for the press to ask the players questions, but there's always some goofiness, like this guy. He's a reporter. He showed up in a dress. All right, when we return, another look at this morning's top stories. And doctors in California say those octuplets are doing amazingly well.
Vigorous, crying, kicking. Everybody was very excited.
If you have a history of smoking and breathing problems, it could be COPD, which includes chronic bronchitis, emphysema, or both. Discover Spiriva, the only once-daily inhaled maintenance prescription that treats both forms of COPD. Spiriva significantly improves lung function to help you breathe better for a full 24 hours. And it's not a steroid. Spiriva is not a rescue inhaler. Tell your doctor about your medicines, even eye drops, and illnesses like glaucoma and urinary or prostate problems. These may worsen with Spiriva. The most common side effect is dry mouth. Others include constipation and problems passing urine. In the event your breathing suddenly worsens, your throat or tongue swells, you get hives, vision changes, or eye pain, stop taking Spiriva and call your doctor. Spiriva is one of many treatment options to consider with your doctor.
Make a habit of breathing better with Spiriva.
All new.
Every woman in this building all day long. Scott Bale's coming.
25 years after Happy Days. Would you believe Chachi's a dad?
The only word I have to describe my daughter is delicious. Aww.
So why is he bringing along 3 more of TV's hunkiest teen idols?
Easy day at work for Mama.
Then, a classic Italian supper with a tasty sauce you can use any day, anytime.
You've got the world's greatest meat sauce right there in your freezer.
Next Rage.
today at 9 on CBS 4.
Hello, I'm Evan Melby, owner of the 25,000-acre Melby Ranch Properties in southern Colorado. We just opened a new subdivision of 5 and 10-acre lots. 5-acre lots will sell for $13,000. 10-acre lots will sell for $23,000. Owner will finance 20% off for cash. We are 2 miles from Smith Lake, 4 miles from the base of Mount Blanca. Call for a free video. 1-888-316-LAND.
On the CBS Morning News, here's a look at today's weather. Heavy snow will fall across much of the Northeast, but coastal sections will see a changeover to rain before noon. In the Ohio and Tennessee valleys, the freezing rain is almost over. Here's another look at this morning's top stories. At least 19 deaths are blamed on a vicious ice storm that hit an area from the southern plains to the Atlantic coast. Nearly 350,000 people have lost power. And President Obama has promised Republican lawmakers he'll consider changes to his $825 billion economic recovery plan. A first vote on the measure is set for today in the House. Last night, Democrats and Republicans debated the plan.
This whole bill is actually a steamroller of socialism that's being forced down our throats, and the economy's going to choke to death.
But you know what's a giveaway for some is a need for others. There's never been more need for this legislation than right now.
The president says he's willing to consider some changes to his plan. This morning, Mr. Obama meets with business leaders to explain his proposal. Well, those octuplets that we told you about, they were born on Monday in California. They're still doing well, but they'll stay in the hospital for at least 2 months. And the baby's grandparents are preparing to be even busier than they already are. Susie Saw of our Los Angeles station, KCBS, has more.
The grandparents of the second set of octuplets ever delivered alive in the United States told us they feel overwhelmed. And you can imagine why. They say they have 6 grandchildren living with them already, and now 8 newborns.
Vigorous, crying, kicking. Everybody was very excited.
At Kaiser Permanente in Bellflower, a mother and her babies are reportedly resting peacefully, while downstairs, cameras wait for a glimpse of the new family members.
They still need some support with oxygen, but only through the nose. So most of the work of breathing is done by themselves.
The mother, who wishes to remain anonymous, gave birth to 6 boys and 2 girls, being called babies A through H. They weigh between 1 pound and 8 ounces to 3 pounds 4 ounces.
She's been able to hear them screaming when they were coming out because she was awake during anesthesia.
Doctors say the mother checked into the hospital 23 weeks into her pregnancy under the assumption she was having septuplets.
Wait, there's a little hand here. Dr. Henry says, oh, are all babies accounted for? And sure enough, I ended up delivering the 8th baby.
It took 5 minutes and the help of nearly 50 doctors, nurses, and others. The octuplets, who arrived 9 weeks early, are said to be doing just fine. Doctors call the mother both brave and strong.
She's very excited. Each time we take the pictures to her, she's very excited and she can tell the difference.
And among the 6 other grandchildren, a set of twin boys. In Los Angeles, I'm Susie Saw for CBS News.
A Florida couple wanted to keep the memory of their beloved dog Lancelot alive after he died last year, so they did by cloning him. Ed and Nina Otto were delighted when Lancelot's clone puppy arrived. The couple says it was worth every penny of the $155,000 that they paid.
To be able to have your best friend back with you.
And I've heard some of my friends say on a dog is ridiculous, but it wasn't just
You can be free to live your life and still manage your diabetes with Freestyle blood glucose meters. And right now, you can get a free meter and starter test strips just by calling. With the latest Freestyle meters, there's no inconvenient coding. Just give the world's smallest blood sample to get the results you need. Call for a Freestyle meter that fits your life, like the Freestyle Freedom Light meter, easy to read and use so you can live more freely. Call for your free meter today, because freedom never goes out of style.
For me, your favorite toy? You're gonna want Mr. Fuzzy Man even more now that we've discovered Beneful Playful Life with extra protein, so you're ready for anything.
Beneful Playful Life. Another healthful, flavorful Beneful. When you get to the scene of a fire, your heart starts pounding. And that kind of stress can really weaken your defenses. So I drink Dan Active every day. I love the taste. I feel like I'm helping to keep this engine running like it should.
Help strengthen your body's defenses.
Are you one of the 47 million Americans who have no health insurance? If you've avoided getting health insurance because you think it's too expensive or you don't qualify, think again. Synergy Health Preferred is health insurance, and you qualify regardless of most pre-existing conditions. Coverage is very affordable, for a little more than $5 a day for individuals and $10 a day for an entire family. And best of all, with the Synergy Health Preferred plan, you are free to choose your own doctors and hospitals. This health insurance plan includes coverage for doctors, hospitals, accidents, pregnancy, labs, diagnostics, emergencies, and more. Synergy Health Preferred even covers surgery with no deductibles and no annual limits. Enroll today and you'll receive Synergy Health's prescription program at no additional cost. Thousands of people like you already enjoy excellent coverage for a little more than $5 a day. Don't wait another day.
Call 1-800-390-9813 today.
Electric cars are sparking interest today at a Tokyo auto show. One Italian model is already in use with 2,000 sold worldwide. It'll go about 60 miles after being plugged in overnight, and it costs around $26,000. Also on display at the show, a one-person electric model, perfect for anyone who likes to go it alone. Another unusual car, this one made in Washington State, carries 2 people and goes more than 60 miles on a gallon of gas. The EMC3 is a 3-wheel vehicle that began as a summer project for a father and his 2 kids. It's shaped for better fuel efficiency.
The airflow flows around the vehicle without it being like a brick pushing through the air.
It's been one of my dreams to build a car. I just didn't know it would actually come out into the market.
The EMC3 will be available in March for $14,000 to $15,000. Of course, the major American automakers are working towards greater fuel efficiency too. They hope that will lead to better sales than last year, which were not good. Ford was down more than 20%, GM down 23%, and Chrysler 30%. And as Mark Strassman reports, that's forcing many dealers out of business.
With America's car business stuck in reverse, the annual convention of America's car dealers is no party.
And it's hard to say this, but we're in a survival mode.
Stephen Wade's typical, a Utah car dealer since the early 70s. He built 6 franchises.
Experience something out of this world. Stephen Wade Cadillac.
And last year, 5 of them lost money. Though he won't say how much, he's had to lay off 100 people.
I've lost about 1/3 of our employees.
So on the convention floor, Wade's looking for help and hope in seminars about survival.
Is 2009 a make or break year?
Yes, yes. And for so many, it's a break year.
America has 20,000 car dealerships, which sold almost 3 million fewer new cars last year than in 2007. Instead of closing deals, more dealerships are closing shop. 900 dealerships shuttered last year. By one estimate, at least another 1,100 will close this year in markets like Phoenix.
Nobody in here now?
No, it's pretty quiet right now.
Dick Arrett owns this Lincoln Mercury dealership. He's cut staff, vacation pay, and holiday pay. He's even back making deals himself and still losing money.
You know, to work 80 or 90 hours a week and then write a check to keep the store open, it's just not a lot of fun.
Dealers are also getting squeezed from above. Detroit's Big Three thinks there are too many dealerships, so many of them are now selling cars for companies that want them out of business.
One more shock to the system could be it.
Don't know how we can handle it.
Wade thinks he'll make it, but for many dealers here, this convention's a last hurrah. Mark Strassman, CBS News, New Orleans.
That's the CBS Morning News for this Wednesday. Thanks for being here with us. We hope to see you later for the early show. I'm Michelle Gielan. Have a great day.
CBS News is very good news.
Tonight, their husbands finally returned from war, but they brought the horrific violence home.
This soldier killed his wife, and the Army now acknowledges it didn't do enough. How can this happen?
Tonight, on a special primetime edition of the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Celebrate the music that makes us. The Grammys, live CBS Sunday, February 8th. Make CBS 4 News part of your morning routine. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm Jawan Strader.
And I'm Cynthia Demas. Here's what's making news right now. A fight for South Florida schools. We're live with what parents are doing to keep their children's school from closing.
I don't expect 100% agreement from my Republican colleagues, but I do hope that we can all put politics aside and do the American people's business right now.
Voting on the economic package is expected to pass the House today. What the skeptical GOP lawmakers are saying about the plan.
And beauty for less. The products you can get that will have you feeling like $1 million without paying anything close to that.
CBS 4 News This Morning begins right now.
From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
And good morning to you right now. It's just before 5 a.m., January 28th on this Wednesday morning. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jawan Strader in for Jim Berry.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back this morning. Jim Berry lost his voice, by the way, and he cannot find it for anything. So Jawan's been nice enough to come in.
I love it.
This week so far, and probably the next couple of days. I'm Cynthia Demas. Lisette Gonzalez is here. Your voice is in full swing. You were singing this morning.
Me.
There you go. How's the weather?
I'm always doing my vocal exercises and singing back there in the Storm Center. The weather is looking fabulous again. A mild start. As you can see, the temperature map looks similar to yesterday, the upper 60s and the 70s, warming up this afternoon to around 81 degrees. Take a look at the winds right now, 9 to 13 miles an hour out of the southeast with that onshore flow. Keep in mind, we will have a risk of rip currents again. So there you go. It will be a very warm day, a little bit sticky this evening, 76. Later on, we'll take a look at that ice storm that's wreaking havoc across the Midwest and the Northeast and tell you how the cold front associated with the storm system could be bringing us some changes by the end of the week. A little bit of a cool down and maybe some showers. We'll have all the details coming up right now. The details on your early morning commute. Christina Loren is going to let you know what's working out there. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning to you, Lisette. Good morning to you at home. We have no accidents to report right now, so we're starting this Wednesday morning out right. We do have some construction that we received word of yesterday. They're going to close down northbound 95 once again over the weekend. The closure will start at 10 p.m. Friday night, lasting until noon Saturday. We just want to give you a heads up. Now, throughout the day today, you will find intermittent lane closures along 95 headed northbound, and that's predominantly going to be between the Airport Expressway all the way up to 151st Street in the Golden Glades. Meanwhile, for catching a flight this morning, no delays out of either major airport. We'll let you know if that changes. For CBS 4 Traffic, I'm Christina Loren.
And first this morning, a fight for South Florida schools. The Archdiocese of Miami will shut down 6 Catholic schools, displacing hundreds of students.
Yeah, this morning parents will go to the Archdiocese and fight to keep their kids' school open. CBS 4's Maribel Rodriguez is live at Our Lady of Divine